Our first guest is synonymous with the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and is annually cited as one of the top 100 most important people in Canadian baseball. Batting cleanup, number 48, Scott Crawford!
Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I
Ever get back. There we go.
Maybe we'll do it after.
Oh, we'll do it after. Okay.
You said
We-
you're going to buy us some peanuts and crackers.
Yeah, well, I hope so. We talked last year how you got to St. Mary's, and what's happened to the hall since?
Since I got here?
No, since
Oh.
since we talked last year.
Oh, well, we're doing a huge construction job to renovate the old part of the museum and to add a new section to the museum.
So it's been closed all year.
It has. We started the project actually on my birthday last year, fond memory of that day, and in November, and they're still going.
And when's it going to open again? What's the projected date?
Spring 2019, that's our plan. So it's
Okay.
only 8 months or so.
But it is going to be open for next year for sure.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And by induction date, absolutely certain.
for sure.
Okay, wonderful. What new features will it be in the construction?
Well, we're pretty excited. I mean, the main thing we're doing with our construction is helping preserve our collection, right? I mean, as you know, you've been there many times and helped us out a few summers, and it was, we have a mass collection that people want to get their hands on, the researchers, Major League Baseball, Cooperstown, and we have the Simmons collection, and that's one of just a few things we want to help preserve, and that's why half our expansion is just purely for our collection and archives and our research library.
What's the Simmons collection? I really don't know.
It's a fellow who's in our Hall of Fame. His name is Harry Simmons. He worked for the commissioner's office in the mid-1900s, but his specialty was the 1800s baseball history.
Oh, wow.
And so we have the history of baseball from the 1800s in our collection.
And nobody else has this.
No, we got all the original documents.
Oh, amazing. Okay, with the growth in size, will there be a growth in staff?
I hope so.
Because you do enough.
I do. My kids like to see me. Toby and Noah are there sitting in the front row. So, yeah, we hope so. We need a curator on staff to really look after our collection. Like I said, it's so important, the history of baseball. We are the history of baseball in Canada and North America, and so we need people on board to help with that.
Right. What kind of things have you planned to draw people for the new, improved Hall of Fame?
I think the fact that researchers will be able to do some research, again, because our collection that we have, the whole inside of the old museum is going to look new. And then also we have a bit of new display space. We're hoping to bring in outside baseball museums like the Negro League Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, et cetera, et cetera. We'll have into our new space and bring in. And that's what all museums do. That's what Amy does here at the St. Mary's Museum, brings in unique collections and artifacts to show people.
Right. And have you set any targets for attendance?
No, we really don't know what to expect. I mean, we've been in St. Mary's. We've been open 20 years now in St. Mary's. We've always had the old stone house as a museum, and now we're almost tripling our size. And so we're pretty excited, but not sure what to expect next year. Other than it's going to increase.
And it'll be fully wheelchair accessible, which is great. It was before, but it's going to be a lot better.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. And what kind of things about, because funding,
Mm-hmm.
obviously to do this, and you have to hire a curator, how you hope to achieve your funding goals?
Well, like we always do, we do government grants and events and donations, and we just keep going that way. Again, with the increase, with the bigger museum and the increase of attendance and whatnot, we think that will help a lot. I mean,
Right. Okay. What have you done to maintain your high profile in Canada? I know you've been on a few TV shows and baseball games on sports nets and things like that. What other things do you do?
It's just getting the word out, visiting the other Major League parks, going down to Cooperstown. We've been there the last 2 years when Expos have been inducted into the National Hall of Fame down there. It's just creating the awareness, talking to people, getting to know the players, telling them about us, spreading the word.
And we have 4 beautiful fielders besides the Hall of Fame. How much are they used?
Those fields are tremendously busy. We have over 1,000 events at our site in the summer. We just hosted an 18-team mosquito championship tournament this past weekend. It was fantastic, and those fields go 7 days a week from mid-April to mid-October.
Right. Now, we have teams always going to the Little League World Series down in the States. Any thought of hosting the Canadian qualifier for that to do it? Is anything?
Yeah, and that was just hosted this weekend, actually. BC won it, so they're going to represent
where was it
Canada.
hosted, though?
I
think it was Lloydminster, I think.
Could have been.
Yeah. But is there any hope of making St. Mary's a permanent site of that?
We could try. I mean, it's they generally like a lot of hotel space in the town where the tournament's hosted. St. Mary's has 2 great inns, but they're small and they're full this time of year.
And they have some wonderful bed and breakfast, I think.
They do. Yes, I hear.
Yes.
Oops, I hear Riverside is fantastic. John got me on that one. But no, I mean, we hope to. Again, we've hosted 7 tournaments this year already, and we got 2 more to go. So it's busy, and if we can host bigger and
that
better,
certainly brings money to the town when people come from out of town.
it does. I mean, 18 teams. We've had teams from all over the province.
And they have
here.
to eat somewhere, and they buy souvenir T-shirts at Sunrays.
That's
and
right.
Places like that, and the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame souvenirs. How many Canadians? We've had a surge of Canadians playing in the major leagues. How many are playing right now?
There's about a dozen right now. The Jays had 2. Now they have 1 with Russell Martin. With John Axford got traded to the Dodgers just last week. We had the greatest hitter in all of baseball, Joey Votto. He's from Toronto. And there's several. There's a lot of up and comings. Canada's gone into a streak of. There's a lot of great players in AA and AAA right now, and are going to be the next thing. Even Vladimir Guerrero Jr. when talks with the Blue Jays, he was born in Montreal, so he definitely counts as.
We're gonna make sure he's Canadian, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We've had several noteworthy Canadians who have retired recently, and they've sort of passed their 5-year date. Who are some of these people you think have a pretty good chance of being inducted in the Hall of Fame soon?
There's a lot of guys. I mean, like you said, they've just retired. Jason Bay, Justin Morneau. If you're not a baseball lover, you might not know these names, but some of the best in Canada. They're both from British Columbia. Jesse Crane, Eric Bedard, Rich Harden, Jeff Francis, who pitched 11 years in the big leagues. He lives down in London. He was up here this summer helping us with one of the kids' events. There's a lot of guys. Russell Martin will be done in a couple of years, so he won't be too far down the road. And,
right.
And there's a lot of great Canadian talent.
Yeah, so it'll be good. So beyond this expansion year, what do you see happening in the Baseball Hall of Fame in the next 10 years?
I think we just continue to grow. I mean, we're in Southern Ontario. A lot of people in Southern Ontario know us, but it's getting the rest of Canada to know that we're the place. I think, again, when our collection's done and ready, and we can get out there and tell everyone about it, it's going to bring more people to town. So it's the collection. It's bringing more people to the Hall of Fame, to know about the Hall of Fame, to learn that we're the place, we're the experts, and come see us.
What are some of the favorite things in the Hall of Fame that people really like when they come and visit?
I would say, I mean, the more popular ones like the Babe Ruth bat and ball, some of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League items, the Vancouver Asahi items, and then of course the current Canadians. The kids like the current players. You know, the kids don't know Babe Ruth. They're watch Fergie Jenkins like we did, so they like the current players.
Can I tell you what my favorites are?
Sure can.
Okay, one of my favorites is there's a life-size cutout of Larry Walker when he was younger. Yeah. But if you stand beside it and put your arm around him, it actually looks like you're with Larry Walker. It's quite amazing. And of course, my absolute favorite is the Joe Carter home plate. Touch 'em all, Joe. Our Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. They got the last one he touched, and it's. I don't know when you touch it, and you're allowed to touch it, right? Or is it under wraps still?
No, you can touch it.
You can actually touch this, and we always said, make a wish.
Yeah. It's actually at the Rogers Center this weekend. The Jays had their big World Series reunion, and of course the Jays had some items, but we had better items than the Blue Jays. So they hope they're not listening. Well, I hope they are listening.
Yes.
But,
well, of course they're
listening. But they asked for Joe Carter's home plate and 5 other items that we had that they didn't. So they came to us looking for stuff for their collection.
Now the Blue Jays have been very supportive of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, as has been sort of the Expos, even though they're not officially there. Tell me about their
No, they're great. The Blue Jays were here for a couple seasons doing their street festival. They allow us to promote there. They have me on TV prior to induction to tell people about our induction class and come down here. Again, they had our artifacts on display this weekend for their big World Series reunion, and they're nonstop supporting the Hall of Fame. They know baseball in Canada is important, and they're learning that the history of the baseball is important.